sir.
One second.
Presentation is not visible.
One second. One second. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Uh, I think I
Yes, sir.
left
Now it is
here.
visible.
Yes. Yeah. So the power quality issues in DC microgrid, that is because of only the voltage level, because only the DC microgrid has only the voltage problem alone, right? Because it doesn't have a frequency or voltage problem. So if there is the voltage variation from the ideal constant voltage, because of the power electronics, what are the problems that we'll be getting? That alone we have to see, and that alone we are going to solve it. How to solve it, all those things we are going to discuss. Okay, see the waveform distortion, when you are having a AC connected to DC, for example, if there is a variation in that is because of the harmonics that is there in the AC, what will happen to the DC is it will create ripples in the voltage level. So in order to avoid that harmonics to be reaching to the DC source, I think you would have also known about the Z source inverter. Usually we use uh, this is the Z source, which will avoid the harmonics that is from the AC to reach the DC. You will avoid by using the Z source, that is using inductor and capacitor in different combinations. You avoid the harmonics from this inverter to the DC supply. Okay, so that is called the EMI filtering. Okay, that usually in all the DC to DC converter also we do the EMI filtering in order to avoid the voltage ripple in the that is in the load or in the supply itself. Fine, that is the EMI filtering. So voltage distortion you can avoid by using the EMI filter. Okay, okay, now you are using a EMI filter. Okay, that is fine, but what if the problem is there is a capacitor here. Uh, sometimes what happens is if the capacitor is hungry, that means that it is completely discharged, then it will take more power. As you can see this guy here, the capacitance guy, he will eat the whole thing, and the load has to big on the right hand side. The load is there. Some of the load you have to switch it off. Okay, so because of the capacitor, if it is a large capacitor, whole current will be taken by the capacitor, and the load which is connected has to be disconnected sometimes because of the EMI filter itself, because of the high inrush current. So because if it is hungry, the capacitor, when it is hungry, it will take lot of current in a short period of time. When the current is taken in a short period of time, voltage will get reduced. So load only has to be removed in order to maintain that voltage. So that's why this power quality issue, because of the EMI filter itself, has to be taken care. Fine. And then power quality issues in DC microgrid, next level is another thing is, although EMI filters like the inrush current is heavy, you have to have that only, because there is no other way to stop this disturbance from the loads actually. So this loads, if it is trying to bring the disturbance, then in order to safeguard the voltage, you have to have a capacitor. Okay, so it will protect, but even though it has a it eats heavily, that means that it will take more current, even though you have to get have this particular um, EMI filter always. So so that is one of the problem. so you and then the fault currents also will be avoided by using this. If there is a high fault current, this capacitor will take care of that. Fine. Okay. Then yeah, regarding the next power quality issue is the grounding point. Actually, whether I think you would have seen about the grounding in telephone exchanges. When you see the grounding, it will give a negative voltage, actually minus 40, minus 45, like that. You will have a grounding voltage that is negative in nature. So here, when you use a DC microgrid, grounding is more important because the shock that you actually get it from the DC line is very heavy compared to the AC line. So that's why uh, uh, you make sure that there is a proper grounding in the DC microgrid. If there is no proper grounding, then there is a high fault current. Again, because of that, you will be getting a voltage level problem in the grounding issues also. So this yeah, this is for today. I think we can wind up with this until the power quality issues. Uh, in the coming session, I'm going to deal about two important problems, recent problems in 2020. What all the problems were taken and how it was solved in a DC microgrid environment. So, if there are any questions on the session, you can tell me, and we'll discuss about the. If there are any questions, we can discuss.
Ganesh sir,
Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
can you elaborate on the Vienna converter?
Vienna converter, is it?
Yeah, yeah, sir.
Yeah. See, actually, you would have seen about the rectifiers, right? Ordinary rectifiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Three phase, you can convert that into DC, right? Three phase, you can convert that into DC directly if you are using only the rectifier. But when you are using a Vienna rectifier, it has a that is inductor and capacitor combinations also we combine with the rectifier itself in order to boost the voltage and even to reduce the harmonics. It is a dual purpose one which can act for increasing the voltage or decreasing the voltage. It can also act as a boost rectifier. Or getting it, not the rectifier usually we are using. It can act as a boost rectifier, like that. And also you can use that for harmonic reduction also. Vienna rectifier actually acts for harmonics reduction also. So this is the advantage. If you want any topology, you can get it in papers in recent past. Actually, you can 2012, 2013, like that. You will get lot of IEEE papers where you will get the Vienna rectifiers. What is that? The topology. There are, I think there are 2-3 topologies in Vienna rectifier.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anybody having any questions?
Are you continuing the session now, sir?
No, that's what I have wound up the this first session actually.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, it is already 11:54, so I thought I will answer some questions because the other next session will take.
Yeah.
If I'm starting the introduction, then I have to stop after half an hour only. Like that, it will be there. And that's why I don't want to continue right now.
Okay,
So
okay.
I wanted to just, if there is any questions, I can take the questions right now.
Yeah, sure, sure, sir.
Yeah, tomorrow it will be like we'll be dealing about what all the problems, recent problems that DC microgrid has taken actually, and how it was solved, all those things we are going to deal. There is some IEEE papers I'm taking, and I'm going to discuss about those problems that we have discussed, what is discussed in the paper and how they have solved it. So those things I'll be having it for the tomorrow's session. So if there are any questions, I can answer it. If not, we can wind it up today.
Yeah, sir. In the message box, there is no questions asked.
Oh, is that so? Okay, one second. I'll also
Yeah.
see the.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay, thank you, Kavita ma'am. Yeah, I'll share the PPT. I'll share the PPT. Jyoti ma'am had asked about the PPT. Yeah, I'll share it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Samhita ma'am. Yeah, Pechi Satya ma'am, thank you. Yeah, thank you. See, smart grid and DC microgrid, when we are talking about smart grid and DC microgrid, see, any grid can be a smart grid. It can be like main grid. The major main grid also can be smart. DC microgrid can be made smart by having the intelligent control techniques. That is how it becomes smart. It is not like smartness is because of this DC microgrid only. That is because of the intelligent portion in the things. Actually, it is not about whether it is DC microgrid is separate and smart grid is separate. DC microgrid can also act as a smart. It is must. DC microgrid must. It has to act as a smart microgrid. But main grid may or may not. It can act as a microgrid. How it is decided? It is that I had shown in the that is initial slides itself, whether it is a microgrid or a mini grid or a pico grid. It depends on how much load you are going to connect, Jyoti ma'am. It is not like grid is the microgrid has to be in 100 kilowatt only. Not like that. It can go beyond 100 kilowatt also. Some of the discussions in IEEE papers, they have taken in such a way that they tell that the wattage is very high sometimes, not 100 kilowatt only. That's so microgrid, when you are deciding the rating, it has to be like how much load you are going to supply. From there you have to go back. See, microgrid limitation is like whether it has to be islanded or not. That you have to think. If you are when you are having a grid connected to the microgrid, then you don't have to think about any limitation. But when you are having that to be islanded, when you are not having the grid supporting to the supporting the microgrid, main grid is not supporting the microgrid, then you have to think about the limitations. Yeah, the limitation is nothing but the battery storage, how much battery storage you have to use, that will increase the cost. So those things you have to think on that. Jyoti ma'am, I think I have answered your question. Yeah, yeah, that's what the limitation is, nothing but according to the storage capacity, how much storage capacity you have to use. Because if the load is very high, then whether I have to go with the microgrid isolated manner or to the grid connected manner, that is what you have to think. Thank you, Vanita ma'am. think Manasa ma'am, you can send me all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
emails.
certainly.
Yeah, I can, so that I can send them the PPT, because
Yeah, sure, sir.
most of them are actually displaying their email ID, so that's why.
Yeah, sure, sir. Tomorrow your session will be continued, sir.
Yeah, I'll be continuing tomorrow. So tomorrow yeah, I think we can wind it up. Is it fine? Maybe.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah. Okay then. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you, sir.
everybody. Thank you.
ಹಲೋ ಮಾನಸ ಮೇಡಮ್,
Sir?
ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Sir.
ವೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅದರ್ 5 minutes ಮೇಡಮ್.
Okay, sir.